Hello, hello, and welcome to another history video. I know I haven't posted much on this channel in over a week, but we're back at it. Today, we're going to be looking at a website that I found to create newspapers, and this is going to be used when you're going to make your newspaper. And I'm going to show you a model text of what I created and what I've been messing around a bit with. So, first thing I kind of went about was creating my own newspaper. You have the title of it, this catchy slash ambiguous slogan. This is the headline, and yeah, the diabolical British blockade. You have that alliteration going on. And what I want to show you here is that first I'm including a primary source of what the British blockade looked like, but here I'm tackling on the ethical dimension and the cause and consequences that have happened with this blockade. And I start out by giving a bit of context about how the year is 1918. So I'm not writing this from current times. I'm writing this in the time of 1918, and I'm basically saying, hey, it's been a year, the war has ended, and yet there's still a blockade, blockading the Germans from getting their goods and whatnot. And I call the British for their unethical behavior in this issue. And here I pose a child, primary source again, from Vienna, who is basically a malnutritious child who's suffering. And if you look at this, it would probably lead more to genuine reporting. But a person who opposes my side would look at this and say, hey, this is British foreign policy propaganda. And so, although it is my intention to actually and to factually, genuinely report on this incident, on this historical event, you must understand that it can be taken the other way, and this could be seen as fake news and propaganda, blah 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 blah. And if you are genuinely reporting, you want to cite your sources, you want to verify your sources, and you want to keep your bias out of it. And although I'm putting in my passion and a bit of my bias in there, this is an issue that it's very hard to not show your perspective. However, the thing that kind of differs here is that my intention behind this piece is to have people think and to consider about what is going on with the Germans and how civilians, children, innocent people are being starved to death just because Britain, in this case, in this time, did not want a new government to rise. So that's basically my introduction here. This site is very easy to make. So each page you have layers, and each layer basically is a text box, an image, and whatnot. And so if you want to create something, let's say you go on the second page. Here I have a text box which I could write in. However, if I want to implement a photo, so before we move on to the picture and how to post and how to make exactly the newspaper, you have to understand, and when you're making this, you have to keep in mind the importance of the headline, the subheadline, and the purpose of your first paragraph. This paragraph's aim is to tell the audience the objective of your piece and also to drag them into and to continue reading more of your paper. And here I basically I put it out flatly. This is what I'm talking about. This is what this article is going to be discussing. We're going to be looking at the ethical issues and the cause and consequences of a British blockade on the German nation. It's right here, right in front of people. So when they pick this article up, they read the headline, the subheadline, and they could jump right into it and understand what they're getting into. And your second page, your third page, etc., are just building off that first one. And here on your second page, you really want to jump into showing sources, evidence of what you're claiming. If this is a propaganda piece, remember, you're trying to convince somebody, you're trying to manipulate somebody's mind. So it would be, if this was a propaganda piece, honestly, I would even say the Germans are starving. I'd say, hey, the British blockade is justified because it's preventing the Second World War, which is obviously a fake claim and a fake headline, which is obvious propaganda, because historically this British blockade killed millions of innocent children. How do you think the Germans felt watching their children die after they surrendered in the First World War? And this is the power of propaganda. It spins lies to have people follow a consciousness, and it's why I very much want all of you to give it a try. And if you're more into genuinely reporting and you want to look into a specific area in World War I, by all means, go ahead. But also think about how your piece could be taken as propaganda. Okay, hello, welcome back. Sorry, I kind of lost the files that I wanted to put into this page. So all you have to do, right, is click on the image you want to bring in, and you want to drag it in. So here it'll upload it to the site, and bam, you got an image. So let's cut that. So this is an image about kind of signifying that in order to really break the blockade, the Germans had to actually sink ships to get through it. And that was kind of devastating to trade. However, what I want to focus on in this area, in this piece of my page, is first, I'm going to further contextualize the history behind the blockade and when it first began and the Allied plan. And secondly, I'm going to use these maps and geography to explain how it was done and why it was so effective. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing here, but you can easily quickly drag in photos and bring them into your newspaper, which is awesome. You have a variety of shapes that you could use, and although I'm using this one because it's quite plain and it actually goes with the time that I'm trying to do, but you have a lot of templates here that you could use in order to make your newspaper. But you have to remember that every single piece, every single photo needs to be intentionally placed into your article. For instance, this gives the reader a geographical outlook into what exactly I'm talking about in this newspaper, while this picture puts in kind of a more emotional pull at the reader. And of course, this image, both of these images must be cited, and they must be credited to where you got them from. However, this would be a secondary source, and I'll need to look into what kind of source this is. But this is how you can make a newspaper online. Again, this is called Flipbook. You can easily make an account and jump in, and making the newspaper and inserting text and citing and even linking to where images are got is made incredibly easy. So this is my first draft of my mentor text, and hopefully after I work it out a bit, I'll show you the final draft.